welcome to the Video Game Challenge Finals. I'm Arnie Wolf, joined by Dennis Geisler, and we are going to have a very exciting match. We have Junxi, one of our very top players, back in the finals. We have Michael Ruiz, who we just saw on stream win against Robert Matthews in 3, so it's very competitive. Calyrex Ice head-to-head battle. Both of these players running Calyrex Ice, and you're going to see on the screen right now, Junxi on the left with Calyrex Ice, Landorus Incarnate, Urshifu, Rapid Strike, Amoonguss, Grimstar on Iron Hands, Michael on the right with that Ogerpon Cornerstone, Tornadus Incarnate, Calyrex Ice, Iron Hands, Golden Go, and Urshifu Rapid Strike.
Mentioned to us they played earlier in Swiss, Junxi with the 2-1 victory. Of course, things like that can change. Seen Swiss versus Top Cut have different results. And I mean, and it's interesting, and that's one of the things that I've heard is that a lot of the restricteds kind of manage what other Pokemon that have to be around them. Calyrex Ice doesn't really do that.
No.
These are, what, 2 of the same Pokemon alongside them?
3, I believe. Urshifu, Iron Hands, and Calyrex.
Yeah, like alongside the Calyrex.
Yep. Actually, one thing I want to point out, these are 2 Iron Hands that are functioning without Quark Drive. I think a lot of people have kind of written Iron Hands off, but we've seen a real drop in Incineroar. In fact, I don't think I've seen it brought out all day.
I saw one, I think, in round 1.
And so Iron Hands is getting its time to shine again, even outside of Trick Room.
Yeah.
Or sorry, outside of Quark Drive. Definitely in Trick Room, as you see with Calyrex Ice.
And that's the thing. I mean, Iron Hands was always good because it got that fake out. It got good physical damage. Assault Vest means that it has no bad stats.
And so I think looking at the leads, I do like the Golden Go on Michael's side. It's a little concerning with the Landorus, but it's overall a very nice lead. Same thing goes with this. Just Ogerpon in general is really good. Ooh, very fascinating lead for both sides. Michael's team, there's something that I like to call the double protect lead. That's pretty much what this is. Pretty safe fake out protection here. And then you can redirect, really, you could actually, if I'm not mistaken, at least chip the Landorus to 50%. One-hit KO it if you tear a rock on Ogerpon. Not necessarily the right strategy, but and I think you want to double protect because there's no downside to that. But yeah, that's something that you definitely could do in the future games if you just want to eliminate the Landorus for Golden Go in the back.
The immediate Spiky Shield, double protect on Michael's side, so nothing too major happening on the fake out turn, which goes into not the Spiky Shield.
Which was probably smart. Yeah, Sanseer is just kind of the play. I think what you got to do is just follow me plus Glacial Lance. It's gonna... This Landorus is probably going to go for the that Terra to Water. I'd be surprised if it doesn't. It could also protect him. That's smart. Don't burn your Terra right away. But I think just following me is a good call with the Glacial Lance, because after that, like...
I don't know why that was so funny, following me.
Following me! I'm following the leader. Oh, we're gonna get copyright strike. Sorry, that's all you get. No, Ogerpon switch out's actually very fascinating. Kind of predicting a Drain Punch, and it's just a nice switch into Iron Hands to get that fake out pressure.
Italian Iron Hands versus Japanese Iron Hands. We'll see which one comes out on top. There's the Protect for Landorus. Actually, kind of a rough turn for that. The Drain Punch comes out, but that means that the fake out will be able to come out into the Landorus next turn with the Trick Room up. Actually, this Calyrex is cooking.
That was interesting. I like that. Yeah, you gotta...
This is a horrifying turn for Junxi.
Yeah, there's actually one kind of silver lining for Junxi. I'm pretty sure everything is slower, including Junxi's Calyrex, than Michael's turn. So, the Landorus is obviously in an immediate threat position, but after that, you do have control, but you're gonna get chipped hard. And I think that's
what the problem is whatever damage you're taking here, because Iron Hands doesn't even have to fake out here. It can just go for damage. And if it wants to just try to hit this slot with Drain Punch or something along those lines, that could be pretty scary. It is the Calyrex that came in.
You know what I like here? I think okay, Wild Charge is fine.
Wild Charge, yeah.
I was thinking Volt Switch could be good.
Ooh, gets a nice little crit, nice little extra damage.
If I'm not mistaken too, Michael was telling me that it's a little speed investment in the Iron Hands, so interesting to pay attention that Junxi's Iron Hands is faster. Just something to pay attention to. I believe the Iron Hands on Michael's side is the fastest Pokemon in Trick Room right now. Slightly. But that's also very good because we saw how much Wild Charge did on that Calyrex.
With a crit.
With a crit. The question is, if you couple it with an opposing Glacial Lance from Michael's side, that's going to be very, very good.
I think it does knock out the Calyrex at this point, and you don't want to let your Calyrex just drop for nothing.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if well, you can see it swap, but it's not necessarily a great position
Also,
either.
just see it protect right now.
Do you read the protect is the question now for Michael. I think the protect is the play.
Do you read the protect and then go for the... Ooh, and it was a read for the protect.
Still solid.
It's still solid, but like, you might drop now.
If you drop, you're not in terrible spot. Oh, just double targeting that.
Okay.
That's smart because
like
you're going to
that.
take a Glacial Lance no matter what.
Yeah. And I mean, if you take a Glacial Lance at this point, like, Calyrex, ice does resist ice.
Yes.
So Calyrex isn't going to take a ton of damage against the Glacial Lance, and the Iron Hands is going to take it.
Iron Hands is crazy.
Iron Hands is actually kind of nuts.
Iron Hands is absolutely wild on this matchup.
And I think we're closing in on the last couple Trick Room turns.
This is, I think I know what's going to happen. I think we're going to see a Golden Go switch in.
We could.
It's such a safe play for it. I mean, because either then you can get your trick. Like, I think the only thing is, gotta watch out for what the opposing Calyrex is. You want the speed tiers, but like, Golden goes in a very safe spot, and if it goes down, you got Fake Out on the Amoonguss, which means you're free to just go for your Glacials until the Landers comes out. And then after that, you could Terra Rock Pawn, and that's a one-hit KO on Lander. So.
I appreciate getting to know there are 2 turns of Trick Room remaining.
Yeah.
That's the number I had in my head, but I'm gled I was correct.
I think that's what you need. If there's any more, it would have been concerning. But
Yeah.
2 turns is definitely winnable for Michael right now. We're going to see it. Terra. No Terra. Oh, maybe Terra. I might be wrong. Is this the switch into Golden Go? Oh, yeah, there it is. See, you just don't want to. You don't want to get. You want to put that Spore Pressure on right away.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a Terra. This one coming from the Amoonguss. It is Terra Water.
Yeah, gotta do that to not get Glacial Lanced.
Yeah. The hard part with that is once the Trick Room expires, which is next turn, Iron Hands has a fun Wild Charge. Ooh, good Pollen Puff there.
Ooh, the Pollen Puff. But Calyrex did attack. I went for the Glacial Lance. It is at +1, so it'll do damage. It'll do damage.
Not a terrible spot.
There's +1 Glacial Lance the other direction. Golden Go not really taking damage.
That was a crit.
That was a crit.
I believe it's not a +1. I guess it's a neutral Glacial Lance here.
That's correct. There are no Pokemon knocked out on Michael's side.
This is such a tricky call. Does the Amoonguss stay in, or does it switch? Do you go for a High Horse onto it? Do you go for a Glacial Lance? That's the question now if you're Michael.
I would just keep clicking Glacial Lance. Or Protect.
I think...
You can Protect Calyrex here and then do whatever with Golden Go.
Question. Okay, here's a question.
Yeah, what's your question?
Does Terra Normal Golden Go take a Sandseer Storm? Because if you do, I think you could just win the match.
I don't know, maybe.
Oh, we're going to see the Terra right away from Michael's side. Is this the Terra Normal, or is this the Terra on... it is the Terra Normal on Golden Go. I like that a lot.
That's nice, yeah. I mean, there's nothing that hits you that badly right now.
Yeah.
Especially now that the Calyrex switched out.
The Protect.
And there's the Protect.
Did Michael read the Protect is the question. You just go straight for it. Michael did read the Protect. Gonna go for something. Is it a... I think that makes sense, actually. Terra Normal to avoid the... potential high horsepower. And if they switch, you're safe. You got a nasty plot, and that's enough to absolutely pick up the rest of the match. The question now becomes, do you survive the Earth Power? And I actually think the play right now is... it is...
And if you don't take an Earth Power, Landorus is gone.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, though.
Landorus disappears from this realm of being.
So I think the play right now is to go for a Glacial Lance if you're Michael, and then protect the Golden Go. And then if the Calyrex goes down, it's fine, because you can bring in your Ogerpon to redirect. If you don't, and actually, the interesting thing, too, is with Landers, you can just go for the Make It Rain Glacial Lance. Like, there's nothing really stopping you. That's going to KO.
That's the thing. Like, no matter what Junxi goes for, Michael is destroying one of these Pokemon. Actually, this is probably the ideal. I think it still knocks out Amoonguss between these two moves. Yeah, it certainly does.
And I'm going to give Calyrex a boost again.
Yeah. Which I think that was probably the best thing to try. Was see if you can escape the what's it called? See if you can escape that turn spore the Calyrex at the end, and then focus on Golden Go. Like, Sleep was the one out, and that didn't work. That did not work.
Part of why Golden Go's so good is because of that sleep avoidance. I mean, just all avoidance. Can't get taunted, can't get spored. It just does what it needs to do. And at this point, you basically click the Make It Rain button.
I think you click Make It Rain and Glacial Lance, and the game is over.
Yep. There is one thing I want to point out, which is, I mean, it's still going to go to Michael, but Junxi's Calyrex is going to be faster outside the trick room.
To be real with you, I don't know what the secondary effect of Sandsear is.
I don't either. Maybe we're going to find out.
Yeah, maybe we'll find out.
Double stall is
we got a protect turn. I'm gonna look it up.
That's fine. I think it's not a bad option at all, because if it sets the trick room up, then Michael's just like, all right, Glacial Lance time. Let's have fun. But Junxi's did go for the Glacial Lance.
Sandsear can burn, 20% chance. We've been told by a good friend of ours, Jesus, who isn't here right now.
And his Golden Go's going right back to
which I get.
full.
Okay, so an out could be Landorus being the fastest, getting the Sandsear burn onto Calyrex, still getting knocked out.
I think it's still a double KO and Make It Rain. I think Junxi's got to protect and go for an Earth Power into Golden Go.
Yeah, there's really not really.
There's not much that, yeah. Sandsear Storm coming out. I don't think it's going to be able to.
Ooh.
Earth Power might KO the Golden Go now. Let's just keep that in mind. But Sandsear not going to do it, and that is almost double knockout.
Almost a double knock. Oh, but it doesn't burn with Sheer Force.
Oh.
Because it's got Sheer Force.
That's why we've never seen it.
That's why we've never seen it, because the only Pokemon that gets it has Sheer Force. Michael wins game 1.
Really well played. I think the right 4 was brought in for Michael. Don't really want to switch it here. Don't need Rain. It's a Calyrex Ice team. Rain's good in the Calyrex Ice.
I don't think Junxi's 4 is the wrong 4 necessarily.
You could potentially...
I think at the very... I think Michael has it seems to be having a better time when both Calyrexes are on the field.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I think you need to maximize the amount of one Calyrex being on the field if you are Junxi. Either the opposing Calyrex or your Calyrex.
This is where Grimmsnarl could be interesting, because this Grimmsnarl has Foul Play. And it also has Screens, so I think that's a very good option, especially when Michael's team is kind of reliant on setup. You can set up the Screens to make sure that it takes extra setup while you do damage if you're Junxi.
Yeah.
The thing is, you're kind of sacrificing a lot. The Calyrex is really good, the Iron Hands is really good, the Amoonguss is really good, and the Landorus is kind of a necessity into this team.
Yeah.
So who do you sacrifice? Personally, I think the Amoonguss is kind of the one that you're like, all right, it didn't really do much.
Amoonguss didn't do much, but you kind of need it to stop the Trick Room.
I don't think you do, because Junxi's...
Well, okay, I'll put it this way. You don't need it to stop the Trick Room, but you want it to stop the Trick Room, and also Spore is such a threat against Calyrex. Like, Calyrex had to fundamentally play the game differently when Amoonguss was on the field because of the Spore threat, especially during Trick Room. And that can give you a couple of extra turns. That's also kind of what I mean about the, like, maximize the turns, that it's, like, not Calyrex on the field. That's a different 4.
That's not the lead.
That's not what we were talking about, but I don't know. Sure, go for it.
Yeah, Junxi. They'll know what to do.
I'm intrigued. And I mean, I don't hate it. But I guess I'll talk about it more when we actually see the leads. But
I don't care for the Urshifu, but that might be famous last words.
I think I'm mostly interested on the basis of, like, what can you do damage-wise early on? Yeah. Can you break something open so that, like, later on Calyrex can just Calyrex?
I don't know. The thing too to keep in mind, Michael's Calyrex is faster in Trick Room, so I don't think Junxi's really going to need to play Trick Room here, especially too with Golden Go coming out and being relatively middling speed. You kind of want Landorus to just be your help, your lifeline here. But then Michael's going to probably try and set the Trick Room. I think that's kind of important if you know that, so we'll see though. And we're going to leave Golden Go Ogerpon. I actually really
Ogerpon is a great friend. I like the lead, but also this is one of the better leads that Junxi could be seeing right now.
Yeah.
Because both these Pokemon kind of just want to hit, and each of them have hitting targets. I think Surging Strikes knocks out the Ogerpon if it does not think hard enough about what it's doing. And I think Earth Power knocks out the Golden Go if it does not think hard enough about what it's doing.
I'm not sure on the Surging Strikes KO, actually.
It's close.
It's very
It
close.
might not.
I thought I saw Michael survive a Surging Strikes. The question was it Mystic Water or was it Choice Scarf? So I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
that's the thing. With Mystic Water, like, that's about the highest damage that you're going to get. This is going to be the immediate early Terra on the Golden Go. That's why I like this
that.
as well, is because you force out the Terra extremely early.
Oh, this is an interesting case. Okay, I think the Horn Leech is exactly the play I would have done too. This makes it make it rain range.
Takes the hit, though.
Okay, so now Surging will KO. Whatever.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, that.
It's the Golden Go.
That's a smart play by Junxi, and that will knock out the Golden Go, turn number 1, and
Oh,
that is a nice,
Michael set
nice
up
early
something.
pace.
I think Michael set up very nicely. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
You have, you know your Ogerpon outspeeds. Horn Leech into Urshifu. Doesn't work? Okay, fine. Trick Room. And now you're faster than the opposing Calyrex. And so you can go for Glacial Lance, Glacial Lance, Glacial Lance. Or if you have Iron Hand Drake, alright, Wild Charge Landorus just in case it goes Terra Water. You also recover some HP there, and Landorus has to go for Sandseer. Otherwise, you're going to have a really healthy Calyrex in Trick Room.
Yeah.
Which is not
I mean,
good.
unless you go for, like, Earth Power onto the Calyrex, like, really focus that Calyrex.
You could, but then, like, your
You're
Ogerpon stays
potentially
up.
leaving the Ogerpon around, but, like, come on.
And I think leaving the Ogerpon around is really
Come
useful.
on, you want to hit that Calyrex hard.
I think, yeah.
That'd be so fun. Although that also means that, like, maybe the Ogerpon could follow me.
That's
and
what I was
take away the. But then Urshifu would still be standing at the end of the turn.
Yeah. Could also just a Horn Leeching onto the Landorus.
Onto Landorus. Critical hit.
I don't think this double KO. Okay, let's take a look at this Calyrex's bulk. Does an Earth Power Surging Strikes KO? I don't think it. Oh,
It totally KOs. It totally
I'm not sure on that.
KOs.
It's gonna be close.
I'm committing. It KOs.
I think so. I think that showed it. It does.
Yeah.
Well played there. Well played.
Very well played. And that means the Calyrex is down. It means they're down to the last 2 for Michael here. And even if... And it's Italian Iron Hands.
Italian Iron Hands.
And I think even if Michael's able to pick up the double knockout here, which doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you stall out the fake out turn, and then you... And then somebody gets to do something.
Yeah. There's a nice play. It's a semi-nice play, which is go for the Horn Leech onto the Landorus slot. It's going to recover you at least a decent amount to possibly bring you back up to Sturdy. Then go for a Drain Punch or Wild Charge onto the Urshifu slot. But the problem with that is you're
you're definitely not getting back to Sturdy with
not
off
with
of
HP.
24 HP.
not where it is now. I think
Yeah.
you just target the Landorus and then hope that you don't go down to Surging Strikes on the Ogerpon.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't really matter because Surging Strikes comes out anyway. Like, you're getting hit by Surging Strikes
Yeah,
on
so just-
Ogerpon regardless.
Yeah, just like I said, hope
Like,
you don't.
getting any HP back is nice.
Hope you don't go down.
But I think Junxi is in a really good spot to
Yeah.
close out this one. Because remember, there is a whole Calyrex in the back, probably.
There's that Horn Leech, yeah. There's got it. Oh yeah, we know the 4.
I mean, we've seen it, but I wanted to raise the suspense.
Yeah. Now the suspense is Surging Strike is going to KO. The answer is probably that's a definite yes.
That KO's
that's
from
a
full.
definite
That
yes.
KO's from full. I'm telling you.
It's Mystic Water. Yeah. I think that's the thing. I know
It's
that.
good to
Ogerpon-
know.
Yeah.
I assume Michael probably knew that. Probably
Yeah.
had seen the matchup before.
I
But
believe-
it's good to know for the future.
I believe if it's Scarf, you survive it. But that's why I'm so because I'm used to surviving Surging Strikes for the bit.
Yeah.
And so I think if it's Scarf, you take
It's
it.
Scarf
Yeah.
or even Sash, you probably take it.
Yeah. The Mystic Water just adds that extra layer of damage.
Yeah. But now it's Calyrex and Iron Hands ready to take out the other Iron Hands, and this should be the end of game number 2. A nice
So
comeback.
Game 3 most looking imminent here. I think
Imminent indeed. It's a
Yeah.
good word. It's like fake out high horse, but I don't think that's the right move. Maybe.
I would play it. I would play it out if I was Michael, just to see
How much damage some things do. And maybe that's even why Junxi's clicking Glacial Lance so that the high horsepower damage isn't revealed.
That is very smart.
Although remember, these two have played each other 2 or 3 game set earlier, so we don't know exactly what they saw in that set.
Gonna be game 6. Oh, okay,
And
Michael's gonna forfeit it. I would have wanted to see which Iron Hands was faster. I believe it was Michael's, but I also
think we saw it earlier and I wasn't paying attention.
I think it was Michael's.
I think
but,
it was
yeah.
Michael's.
But I also want to see like, okay,
Yeah, we definitely
where's the
commented
speed
on
tiers?
it that it was Michael's.
Yeah, but I was curious on the speed tiers of it still. I just heard a comment from one of the players here, Josh, who was saying, I am very excited to see this final game.
True.
I am too.
I'm also excited to see
This is a very 50-50 game. I think both teams are very good. I think both players are just kind of masters at what they're running.
Yeah.
And because of that, it can go any direction. I do think the lead for Michael was not the right lead. I personally do like the idea of going for like a Trick Roomer mode or slower. You do gotta watch out for the Amoonguss, but which is another thing that Junxi could switch in now because like, okay, I didn't bring in Amoonguss that time and it worked. Now Michael's not gonna expect it. Bring it back in. But I think
do like that Urshifu Landorus though because you threaten so much early damage. Like Michael wants to set up Trick Room, wants to sit around for a little bit, wants to get a nasty plot off. Like Landorus Urshifu is not gonna let you do that.
Counterpoint with that is Iron Hands Calyrex sets up a free Trick Room and that's it. And then there's nothing that Junxi could do about that.
Iron Hands Calyrex sets up a free Trick Room. Yeah, I guess that's true.
So, and then you have to force the Terra Water on Landorus, which you do not really want. It's not bad, but it is going to at least go down to a high horsepower or wild charge, and so that's not a position you want to be in. Could also just switch it into Amoonguss, but still, same thing applies. I think the Trick Room is the key for Michael. I don't think you lead with Golden Go and Ogrephon. I think you lead with Calyrex and set your Trick Room. Or you, for whatever reason, if you want to go Tailwind, go Tailwind. That's actually not... If you're expecting the same lead of Landorus and Urshifu, it's not a bad combo, but it's still scary.
Yeah, I would imagine that Tailwind, like Tailwind, Glacial Lance hits pretty hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it hits pretty hard, but also that like it would move before everything else.
It might. I still think Trick Room's the way to go.
Probably. I do like Tailwind.
Urshifu and Iron Hands from Michael's side. And Urshifu and Iron Hands from Junxi's side.
This is Regulation D gaming.
Yeah! Where are the switches gonna come out? Is there gonna be any switches? It's important to note that this is Terra Poison Urshifu on Michael's side.
Yeah.
But the same moveset except Protect over Detect. It's the only difference.
So, suboptimal.
Yeah, slightly. Slightly. For the very rare Imprison NDD that comes out.
I mean, Furgiraf brings out Imprison sometimes.
Sometimes. I've seen it. But yeah, in a mirror match, it could go either way. You know, it's such a 50-50 call.
One, don't know who's faster.
So Detect on Michael's Urshifu is the first thing that comes out.
I think Michael's Urshifu is faster.
Ooh.
The fake out.
Double. Wow.
The double.
That is interesting.
I'm cool with that. I mean, if Junxi... I think Junxi must have... Because I think, going back to what we were talking about earlier, I actually think that Junxi's Iron Hands is faster.
Yeah.
We saw Michael's Iron Hands be faster in Trick Room before. So we know that Junxi's Iron Hands is faster. And so you get the fake out down, you get a bunch of damage. You assume the other Urshifu is going to protect or whatever to try to stall out the fake out.
I think you double up here. If you're Michael, I think right now what you got to do is just... I would Surging Strikes onto the Iron Hands and then Wild Charge the opposing Urshifu. Or Drain Punch on the Iron Hands expecting a switch into Landorus, which is also very, very viable. One thing I don't like about this, though, for Michael is you're losing... Oh, we're going to see Close Combat, actually, instead. Which does not do a ton, but does put it in range for Drain Punch.
Yeah, that's for sure. But it also puts it in range to take a bunch of damage, but not get knocked out by Surging Strikes.
Also important to know, Michael's Urshifu is faster. That might come into play if both the Wild Charges don't knock out here.
Yeah.
But let's see if
I think they might just knock out each other right now.
One Wild Charge. Can we make it two?
What an awesome game.
I believe this is going to be a Drain Punch, though.
Why they call Pokemon a beautiful game.
The Volt Switch.
The Volt Switch. Does that knock out?
Not quite.
No.
Not quite.
Gonna say, it's don't got much special attack.
It did drop, which is why I kind of thought it did. But Calyrex is quite good here. Calyrex is really good. Fake out onto the, I would fake out.
Because you can bring your Iron Hands back
Yeah,
out now.
and then you fake out, or and then starts going for the Glacial Fun button.
Yeah.
Which I think the only thing, especially too, if
Well, I think you like fake out and Trick Room here.
yeah, especially if you're banking on Junxi's Pokemon not going to be having that Amoonguss come out, which I think is a very smart. I personally think if I was Michael, I'd be the Amoonguss is not coming out. I've got Golden Go and Ogre Pond. That's not happening. And so I would go for that. Fake out the Iron Hands and Trick Room, and then you're gonna take a Surging Strikes. That's the only thing, and then possibly a Drain Punch. Maybe maybe you just Volt Switch out again, because I think you're gonna, if you're Junxi, you kind of have to double target. At least I would imagine so.
Yeah, you gotta fake out the Urshifu.
Okay. You are losing
Letting
the
the
boost.
Urshifu drop, not a huge deal.
It is the better one to remove from the
The
field.
Drain Punch into the Calyrex, not a ton of damage. Not great. Does heal the hands back up to full.
Yeah.
And there's the Trick Room, as was foretold.
Ready for another mirror match? Here we go.
Yeah, gotta bring the Calyrex back out here.
There
for
is
Junxi.
a nice position though for Junxi, which is this Iron Hands on the other side is chipped.
Yeah.
Junxi's is not. That's
Junxi's is all the way back to full HP.
so the question now, if you're Michael's like, okay, which one does more healing with Drain Punch? Personally, I think I would just Drain Punch plus high horsepower into the opposing Iron Hands. I think it's way more concerning.
Yeah.
That's one, and I think this is not quite going to be a KO, but it's going to be a safe position to Glacial Lance on the next turn and set up your Golden Go if you're Michael. Yeah.
High horsepower as well into the
11.
Ooh,
11 HP.
Iron Hands takes it. Iron Hand takes the hit.
That was to be expected. Oh.
Iron Hand's not going to drop, but it will drop to the Drain Punch follow-up.
Okay.
That is interesting to note that Junxi's Iron Hands is faster than both Calyrex's.
This is an interesting case.
But Michael's Iron Hands is slower than both Calyrex's, being the counterpoint to that.
Golden's a very good position right now. The question, I don't know if you go for Nasty Paw or if you just go for the attack on Calyrex.
Do you Terra the Golden Go?
You gotta save it. If Landorus is your last Mon, you gotta save that Terra for water. So I think you just
That
go.
actually is true. You do have to save your Terra.
Just if you're Michael, I think you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go. We're gonna go for the make it rain. Let's just get rid of it. But you gotta Terra the Golden Go. I think you're right on.
Yeah, you have to Terra the Golden Go. Like, I think that Junxi can't Terra this turn.
No.
And that's the thing. It's like, Golden Go is going to take a bunch of damage.
Oh, you could actually Shadow Ball. Calyrex is weak to Shadow Ball, so
Calyrex is, in fact, weak to Shadow Ball.
pretty good play too.
It's a horse. I mean, it's a guy riding a horse.
There's the Glacial. Yeah, if you're Junxi, you just keep the not Terra.
There it is.
That's also a +1 boost.
Guess the question is, how much does this Glacial Lance do here? Or slash a high horsepower. That Golden Go did not Terra. And that Golden Go is about to drop a lot of damage to high horsepower. It's going to take a bunch of damage. Make it rain. That is super effective, and that's going to knock out the Calyrex. Big damage.
Was expecting a Terra there, I imagine, to normal. Which
Oh yeah, it's the Terra normal Calyrex.
Which actually, that's one use of it. I'm not gonna lie.
I forgot about the Terra normal Calyrex.
Okay.
And so to recap, the other Urshifu's down, the other Iron Hands is down. So it's just Landorus against the world here.
How many turns to Trick Room?
2 turns.
Junxi, is Junxi gonna go for the classic double protect? The Junxi double protect
Double
strategy.
protect? Do you need to double protect here?
You go down to a +1 glacial or +2 glacial. Oh no, it was +1 glacial. I still think you go down to a +1 glacial plus Shadow Ball. Could high horse if you anticipate the Terra. That's another mind game. I also wouldn't be surprised if we just. I think you just got a double attack of your Michael. Just forget the Nasty Paw. It's not worth it. Your Calyrex is your key. So the question is, did Michael predict the Terra and went for high horse for a possible win, or was it that Glacial Lance at +2, which is still resisted, but decent damage? It's the high horse.
It's high horsepower. That does a ton of damage. Golden Go goes for the Nasty Plot. That could be a huge mistake for Michael.
I was thinking you cannot.
Sandsear Storm comes out.
I think Junxi just won it.
Yeah, I think he did. There's one more turn of Trick Room. Landorus has Protect to stall that out.
You click Protect.
And you click Protect here. Oh, such a close battle.
And that is the Trick Room reversal.
Okay.
I mean, it's not. It's
I guess.
So you can protect this turn? I don't know.
It didn't really do anything. It didn't matter. The battle was decided.
And with that, Junxi Zhu is our video game challenge champion. Huge props to both players. Junxi has mastered this kind of core of, you know, fake out Mungus and Landorus, that kind of combo, the pivoting, the Calyrex Ice just to add extra damage. Michael with a really, really cool team. Golden Go redirection is so good right now, I personally feel, especially with Calyrex Ice, because they kind of cover each other's weaknesses very well. And so just two really good teams from two really good players.
Yeah.
And look at that. I mean, it was an exciting match. And they went to game 3 both times, so it is very exciting.
Yeah, exactly. We've had a lot of really exciting games this format in general. Most of the games today went to 3 games.
Yeah.
Most of the sets today went to 3 games. It was just a lot of exciting battling. And as we head out of this one, I am looking at the screen over there. We will be back in August after Worlds. August 24th is our next League Challenge. I see on the screen there. So be sure to come on out. It is always a great time, and you'll be able to start working towards those championship points to next Worlds, become one of the 75 in America who get to go.
And don't forget to